Welcome back to World Decoder. Today we explore a legendary tale of survival, grit, and the greatest comeback in tech history. If Nvidia is the creative king born in luxury and Intel is the long-standing empire, then AMD is the ultimate survivor. This is the dramatic story of a company that spent half a century living in the shadows of gigantic industry titans. They endured bitter failures and near-death experiences, only to execute the most spectacular turnaround ever seen in the world of technology. Chapter 1: The Shadow of the Giant. Founded in 1969, just 1 year after Intel, AMD was the poor cousin. For decades, they were seen merely as the cheaper alternative, living off the scraps left behind by the wealthy market leader. Their primary job was manufacturing budget versions of chips based on Intel designs, labeling them as the eternal copycat of the industry. They were the second choice, the option you only picked when you simply could not afford the premium power of Intel. Intel was incredibly wealthy, owning billion-dollar fabrication plants. Meanwhile, AMD had to rent facilities and constantly lived on the edge of bankruptcy. There were dark times when their stock price was so cheap that a single share cost less than a loaf of bread. Chapter 2: The Iron Lady. By 2014, AMD stood at the very edge of the abyss, facing extinction. The entire world believed they would soon be wiped out, but in their darkest hour, a savior emerged from the shadows. A Taiwanese-American engineer named Lisa Su stepped up as CEO. She was not a marketer, she was a brilliant MIT engineer. Unlike her predecessors who loved flashy ads, Lisa Su understood the silicon. She made a brutal decision to save the sinking ship. She cut all distractions and focused every remaining resource on creating a brand new chip architecture that would change the world. She told her engineers, "We do not need to beat Intel everywhere. We just need to build something they cannot ignore." This project was a massive gamble. If the Zen architecture failed, the company would definitely collapse. There was no plan B available. For years, they worked in secrecy. The industry mocked them, assuming they were building another budget chip for low-end office computers. Chapter 3: The Battle of Red Cliffs. In 2017, Ryzen was launched like a nuclear bomb in Silicon Valley. For the first time in over a decade, an AMD chip was actually faster, cooler, and significantly cheaper than Intel's offering. Tech reviewers were shocked. The underdog had not just caught up, they had leaped forward, catching the giant completely off guard. While Intel was struggling with internal bureaucracy and manufacturing delays, AMD executed a brilliant strategic move to secure their future dominance. They partnered with TSMC, the world's most advanced chip manufacturer. This was a masterstroke strategy of borrowing a knife to kill. AMD did not need to spend billions building factories. They focused on design and let the best blacksmith forge their weapons. The result was devastating for the competition. AMD began to eat away market share, from personal laptops to massive data centers. Cloud giants like Google and Amazon started switching to AMD. The empire of Intel was cracking under the pressure of innovation. But Lisa Su was not done yet. She looked at the other mountain in the valley, the green giant known as Nvidia. Chapter 4: Facing the Monster. AMD opened a second front with their Radeon graphics line, challenging Nvidia's absolute dominance in gaming. Their philosophy was distinct: freedom. While Nvidia built high walls around their tech, AMD chose to embrace the open source community. Nvidia created a walled garden with expensive proprietary features. AMD responded with open technologies that anyone could use for free. They became the hero of the people, offering high performance at prices that regular gamers and creators could actually afford to pay. The stature of 2026. Today, AMD is no longer a stunt double. They are a titan standing tall among giants. They are the only company in the world capable of fighting a two-front war against Intel in CPUs and Nvidia in AI. Lisa Su turned a dying company into a $100 billion entity. AMD is now the beating heart of PlayStation and Xbox consoles. They power the strongest supercomputers on Earth, solving the complex mysteries of the universe, from climate change to curing diseases. The story of AMD teaches us a profound lesson about resilience. You do not need to be the strongest at the start. You just need to survive long enough, adapt constantly, and strike with precision when your opponent finally lets their guard down. In the technology race, second place is not failure. Failure is only when you stop hoping for a glorious comeback. From a stock price of $2 to the peak of the industry, This is the legacy of the great survivor. Today, thousands of brilliant minds continue the fight, ensuring that competition remains alive and innovation never stagnates for us consumers. Every time you boot up your PC or load a game, remember the decades of struggle that made that performance possible. Competition is the best friend of the consumer. Without AMD's fight, we would likely still be paying double for half the speed. The war is far from over. Giants are waking up and new challengers are rising, but the survivor knows how to fight. As we enter the era of artificial intelligence, the next chapter of this saga is being written in code and silicon. Will they conquer the AI frontier just as they conquered the CPU market? Only time will tell, but never bet against them. This journey proves that in business and in life, it is not about how you start, but how you finish. AMD's story is a torch in the darkness for any startup or individual facing impossible odds and overwhelming powerful adversaries. They have earned their place in the constellation of tech legends, not by birthright, but by the sheer force of will. We have just witnessed the life cycle of an industrial underdog, a magical process of science, business strategy, and human determination. What do you think about AMD's strategy? Do you prefer the underdog or the established giants? Let us know below. The tech world is vast and full of stories waiting to be decoded. We're here to break them down for you. History is written by the victors, but sometimes the most inspiring chapters are written by those who refuse to surrender. From the shadow of Intel to the spotlight of the world stage, the red team has truly arrived at their destination. For the gamers, the creators, and the dreamers, this rivalry has brought nothing but better tools to build our digital dreams. Somewhere out there, the next Lisa Su is studying, preparing to lead another underdog to glory in the next decade. Technology connects us all, and understanding the business behind the circuits helps us appreciate the devices in our hands. So next time you see that little sticker on your laptop, remember the blood, sweat, and tears behind that small logo. The digital world is built on binary, but the stories behind it are full of complex shades of gray and color. AMD's trajectory is a reminder to never get comfortable. Even the biggest empires can fall if they stop innovating. Respect is not given, it is earned on the battlefield of benchmarks, efficiency, and price-to-performance ratios. AMD has earned it. As the sun rises on a new day in Silicon Valley, the war for the future of computing continues to rage on. Hardware is nothing without software, and AMD is now working hard to bridge that gap to truly complete their ecosystem. From virtual reality to artificial intelligence, the demands for computing power are growing exponentially every single year without stopping. These tiny squares of silicon are the bricks of our modern civilization, building the cities and systems of tomorrow. Success is sweet, but the team knows they cannot rest. In this industry, if you blink, you become obsolete. They reverse their fate, defying the laws of business gravity. It is a case study that will be taught for generations. Business schools around the world now analyze the Lisa Su era as the gold standard for corporate turnaround strategy. The pawn has become the queen, the board has changed, and the players must now respect the new rules of the game. The spirit of the founders who wanted to create a fair alternative lives on in every decision the company makes today. They have climbed the mountain, but staying at the top is often harder than the climb itself. The wind is strong there. Competitors are regrouping, Intel is building new factories, Nvidia is pushing AI limits. The storm is coming back again. But AMD has survived storms before. They have their secret weapons and a battle-hardened culture that fears no one. We hope this story inspired you to keep pushing in your own battles, whatever they may be in your life. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit the like button. It helps our channel survive and grow, just like AMD. Which tech giant should we decode next? The fallen empire of Intel or the AI kingdom of Nvidia? You decide. World Decoder is dedicated to bringing you the most compelling stories from the complex world of business and technology. Remember the quote, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." The tech world is small, but the impact is massive. These leaders are shaping the future of humanity with every chip. Keep dreaming, keep building, and never let the giants tell you that you are too small to make a difference. From the heart of innovation to your screen, this has been the saga of the great survivor, Advanced Micro Devices. Special thanks to our research team for digging deep into the archives to bring these forgotten details to the light. Thank you for watching World Decoder. Remember, the race is never over as long as you keep fighting. See you next time.